Hi, yes, that is me, Neil. Over the past 3 to 4 years, I've been running a UK marketing agency, and back in April, my co founder Mitch had the pleasure of sitting down with Daniel Priestley as he laid out his 90-day playbook to build a business from scratch. That got us thinking there could be a series here, so I'm putting that very playbook to the test on some of our new services, showing you every up, every down, over the next 3 months before I move out to Portugal to enjoy a little bit more sun and to get my golf game down to scratch. Let's dive in. So we built out the plan yesterday. Today we're actually going to jump into actually building out what we planned for month one. So we know the plan. We've got short form, which is more the attention grabbing hooks, short form video across multiple platforms. And the key here, they're not leading to CTAs, they're going to lead to our long form explainer videos. So second part is the explainer style videos that are really well done. They're not this journey series. These are going to be explainer videos that actually showcase expertise and have the CTAs. And then the thing that we're going to dive in this video is the lead form. So we are going to build a live scorecard. I'm going to speed run it because it took me 2 days basically to build it. So several hours of work, we're going to speed run it. So this is the system, and obviously we're going to work weirdly backwards because we have to have the scorecard, we have to have the long form that then pushes to the scorecard potentially as a CTA or book a call. But then we also have to then think about the short form off the back of that long form. So we're going to start on the right, and what you'll see here is this is me basically walking through my YouTube at the moment. Now, I've not put a lot of time, 16 subscribers. What I've done is I've changed the name. It was more Neil McLean Business. However, due to our key philosophy at the moment is like being authentic on camera, I've changed the name to The Real Neil, and just did a little bit of cleaning up here, basically changing the description to the new services we're offering. It's always quite key to make sure that they match. So you'll see here a bit more description compared to what it was previously. And actually you're going to see me here put my video up. And a bit of an inception moment is you potentially, this is going to be video 2, but you might have already watched video 1, and this is just me posting it. So at the back end of yesterday, basically making sure all the links are right, making sure the description's right, adding our CTAs, and you'll see me heavily using Claude there. Now, it has all of our context, and a lot of the time we will just jump in and use Claude to basically speed run it. And then you'll see at the end, thumbnails, no, I don't even know what the words, end title, page, making sure my face is in it. And then naturally, for this journey series, we kind of, to make it all make sense, you kind of need to watch the Mitchell Alley with Daniel Priestley video. So that was posted. And here is where we're going to jump in to something that has been our specialty to 3 to 4 years. It's building out these scorecard quiz assessments. So you'll see on that past video, we had 3 CTAs. We had, if you want a ScoreApp built done for you, if you are not sure if a content engine's a good fit, take the scorecard that we're going to build now. And then number 3 was, if you just know that you're a perfect fit already, then book in a call. So the scorecard there is basically people who are consuming our content, but they're almost like, oh, I need to just think it through a little bit. Then the scorecard is that leap. And very rarely you're going to have the people that are just like, bang, let's go and do it. So this is me live building out the scorecard. So if you're unfamiliar, ScoreApp is like a quiz assessment platform, and it allows you to build out these really engaging assessments. And you can see how these are throughout the past 3 to 4 years, and definitely going forward, these are way more engaging than a standard lead form or just book a call. So just what I'm trying to show you here, I don't want to go too much into the detail because it's always a little bit bespoke depending on your business and what you're going to do. But this is just basically feeling out the planning stage. So we always have to have a core concept, and that goes on the landing page. And that is almost like what is going to grab the attention of someone. So you'll see I had a, first one was key person of influence, but then I kind of thought, okay, based on our demographic, okay, it does actually hit the niche that if people have been watching Daniel Priestley, then they'll know that terminology. However, for a lot of the time, people might. So then just redefining that with context. And you'll see here a little quick tip for Claude. A lot of the time I will voice note into it, so you can just get a lot more context rather than typing it out. So you'll see him just confirming that the title is going to be time for content to become your separator, see if you're a good fit for our done for you service. And then here's me just basically working out what categories we're going to score them on. So typically with a scorecard, you've got a few options. You've got like an overall just percentage score, and you're going to see this come together, but also you can build in categories, which always just allows you to provide a little bit more insight. So this is me just defining the categories and adding them into ScoreApp. So you'll just see here, I am going to make a video that's a little bit more substantial on how to actually build this out. So don't worry too much, that video is coming. This is just a speed run, so you can see like the end product of what we're going to be using it for in the journey. So what you see here on the left hand side, I'm just adding the categories in, and we went for something around IP, almost like have they got something to say. We said something around are they a good fit for being on camera, because some people it just doesn't fit. And then the third one is, does their sort of target market fit running content? So you'll see here I asked Claude to actually build out a HTML file, and this is something that's been quite crazy for us recently. Previously it might take me like 3 weeks to build out a full graphically designed scorecard. Claude, with the right context, and that's really important, we've got 4 years of building these, over 500 builds built into our Claude context modules, so it knows basically what to do. And I've just tried to make this service a little bit more fun, so you'll see some different fonts to what we historically have used, a little bit more fun. And here, this is just a side thing. This is me just realizing our logo that I had on file didn't have a transparent background, so the white would show up. So there it is. This is almost like the first part, and you'll see, in my opinion, very good from the get-go. From my expertise, just a few things that I wanted to change here. So there was a lot of space at that top section, so someone would have to scroll quite far down to actually start the quiz. Here I've just added in just a little bit where at the top you can basically start the scorecard straight away. I try to get that arrow right, but it's a bit of a pain, which is fine. So not a problem. But what you'll see here, me just jumping to Calendly, because also I kind of realized that all of our past Calendly booking don't really take into account the new services we're trying to offer. So it's just me building a quick Calendly, simply adding a good description, as you can see, and making sure the notifications are right, turning it on, and then now we have a natural book a call link that I can use now in the scorecard. So you'll see here, this is jumping to the actual results page. And like I said, the questions are always a little bit tricky, but I'll build a video on that or add some more context as we go through this journey, because I'll show you the questions at the end. But you'll see here, this was also built on Claude, this pricing module, and you'll just see me sort of build this and it starts to come together. So basically you'll see the categories here: IP and substance fit, buy-in, commitment, audience and channel fit. They're going to be scored across these tiers, these categories. It's going to give them an overall score. And obviously the goal here is I've asked these questions honestly, so the outcome is going to be honest. So if someone genuinely isn't a good fit, so they like really don't want to be on camera, their audience is not going to watch a video, they're not even online, and they struggle to even sort of define their ICP and like what to say, then as a done for you content engine, that is going to be difficult for us to really get going well from the start. Of course we can sort of plan out content and get people more comfortable on camera, but if no one's going to watch the videos, then we're in a bit of trouble. So that is what you'll see here. Is it is a really good tool for us to see who's a good fit, and also the people who are taking the scorecard, they're going to see if they're a good fit, and it just means that everything is a little bit more authentic here, instead of almost being like, just book a call, like we know you're going to be a good fit here. What you're going to see here as well is I just added 4 different scoring tiers, I would call them, almost to give the scoring a little bit more personality. So usually it's low, medium, high. I've got just a few like worth a proper think, a plan away from being perfect. You've got the camera is calling for someone who's a perfect fit, or something where like you're very nearly camera ready. So that's always quite interesting, just to get those scoring tiers, add a little bit of personality. So you'll see here at this top section, I'm adding in the core titles, and we add a first name there just for a little bit more personality. And then you'll see here me inserting the insights. And what's quite key is their dynamics. So depending on what they score, they're going to see different insights. So you can be really personalized there. And then this part is just diving into almost like what we've understood. So a lot of the time, the gap between like actually getting a sale is people don't feel that you understand their situation. And this ScoreApp does a fantastic job of almost scoring them, basically, what they think about themselves. So if someone does think they're a great fit, then you're going to call that out. If they think, okay, I'm not comfortable on camera, but I've got a lot to talk about and my market is there, then we're gonna talk about that. So you'll see me just turning it live just to give it a test, and this is where you're going to see the questions and you'll see how it sort of fits, but don't worry too much about that. There's one cool thing that I did want to show you here, is how the book a call fits, but also if we go through this at the end, one cool thing is in the questions we asked a budget question. So we have a couple of tiers on the content engine, and depending on where they've come in with their budget, so you obviously are going to have people who go, do you know what, I just want to do it properly. We ask that question, and then also we have one around they just want the normal package, so a lot basically done for you, but they don't need all the bells and whistles, so that's a tier. And then the bottom one is, so here it is, I'd rather sort of start lean, I can only invest a small amount. So what you'll see on this results page is we have tailored the price points, the pricing section, depending on what they answered. So if someone said, look, I've got £2,500 to invest, I want to do it properly, but like I don't need to go all in, then we have situated the results page to say that's the recommended package. So you'll see there, that's the recommended growth package. Someone says all in, that's the one that's going to be recommended. So quite a cool thing there, and hopefully you're going to start to see this. I'll actually add it at the bottom of the video so you can go and test it out if you're interested and sort of see how it all plays out, put whatever answers in. And yeah, hopefully that was quite useful for you guys to see me building that out live. So in tomorrow's video, just very quickly, or in a couple of days' time, depending on how I can edit it, we will be basically getting this into production, or getting it live out there. So we will be, you're going to see me, I've recorded my explainer video, sat down in more of a better setting, and recorded my explainer video. So that is obviously, this scorecard is going to sit on that page, and naturally I've recorded some shorts as well that will fit in with that. So we've got the explainer video, we've got the shorts recorded. I'm going to edit them. I'm going to show you how I'm going to edit them. I'm doing all the editing myself. We've got a video editor in-house, but I'm going to make sure that I can build this out myself. Especially that gives you a little bit of confidence if you're going to go down that route. We've got the scorecard built, fantastic. We've got our book a call link, fantastic. We've got our done for you scorecard page built, and I'll show you that in another time. We've got our long form explainer video recorded, just needs to be edited, and we've got some shorts recorded. So we're pretty much there. I have sped run this basically. I know we said we've got a month to get this up and running, but if you can get it live as soon as possible, you're going to learn, you're going to tweak. So that's the goal. So hopefully I'll see you in the next one, and you'll be able to see it all start coming together.